In the far reaches of Wyoming, there are places full of nothing but sage and sky. Land that has never seen a plow. Wild places with hidden treasures to those willing to put in the work. This is a look at a very special upland bird. This is a look at a family and traditions going back generations. This is wild upland.
Wild Upland is brought to you by Purina Pro Plan.
Though I've jumped in with both feet into the world of upland hunting, I'm still a relative newbie compared to some of the friends I've made in this world. So, when one of those friends invited me to his family's sage grouse camp, it was something I knew I had to go and experience. An iconic bird, an iconic country, with generations of hunters. Count me in. I travel all over to upland hunt, and I traditionally camp quite a lot. So when Colin said, hey, let's camp so we can be right in the area that we want to hunt, I was all for it. So I pulled my camper to Wanda, and that's just like a cool aspect of what we do as upland hunters. And we don't care where we are, we're just as long as we're within the birds. So as an upland hunter, you always have a species on your bucket list, and sage grouse is one of those for me. I've only hunted them one time before, and of course, when I was hunting them, I found sharptail. And the other time that I was hunting sharptail, I found sage grouse. And so I got a call from my buddy Colin Heward. He and I are, he writes for Gundog, but along with that, he's a really special friend. And he invited me to his family's sage grouse camp in Wyoming. And I truly felt honored to have that invite because it's a family tradition for him. I'm sure it's a close-knit thing that they only do with people that they really care about. And so for him to extend that invite to me was something that was really special and that I was going to hop on because it was, to me, it's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. That's it. Home sweet home. It's nice too.
Yeah, so Kali and I have known each other for a few years. I have had the pleasure of contributing to Gundog and Backcountry Hunter, and she's become one of my very good friends. We've had the opportunity to chase some birds in some pretty neat places, and I was thinking back about today, I've been there for several of the firsts for Jones on some of his wild birds, and it's been really fun. Good friends are hard to come by, and especially good hunting friends. And so it's definitely a friendship that I cherish and I appreciate.
Wild Upland is brought to you by Purina Pro Plan, nutrition that performs. And by Browning, the best there is. Fiocchi, your upland ammo for every pursuit. Onyx, know where you stand. Lucky Duck, loyalty goes both ways. And by Final Rise, premium upland gear.
It takes a special piece of habitat to hold sage grouse. Their numbers have seen declines in the last century, but these are tough birds, and you can still find healthy, huntable populations in certain pockets of the West. They are highly regulated and protected, which is fitting for such a unique Western species.
Sage grouse hunting is unique for a lot of different reasons. The areas that they live are very different than any other sage flats, which are primarily public land.
So sage grouse is a really unique bird to hunt. They're few and far between, and so you'll find them in, coveys, but you may walk many, many miles before you even come to one. And honestly, you can look at a sage grouse field and you'll be like, I guess I gotta start walking. You know, you never really know where they're gonna be, but of course, like any other upland bird, they want a few things. They want water and cover. And so when it comes to sage grouse hunting, those are the two things that we're gonna look for. And sage grouse, traditionally, they eat sage, of course, but they also eat grass and bugs and other tubulars. And so when you find a covey, you really need to open them up to see what they're eating, because we could put many, many miles in the boots before we even get into birds.
We'll push up to this trough and decide what we want to do from there.
Okay. Yeah, he was pretty birdie multiple times.
Yeah. There's birds. I know for a fact there's birds in here. We just got to turn them.
Yeah, he was birdie multiple times. One time he turned around,
You're
and
like,
I was like,
"Oh, boy."
oh boy, get ready. But there's no wind either, so that
does not help.
So we were deciding whether we wanted to break for lunch and take a little bit of a mental break, or if we wanted to do one more push. And of course, being bird hunters, we wanted to do one more push. But we decided, Colt and I decided we're gonna break up into two groups to try to conquer more land. And it hadn't been 20 seconds after we had strapped up and I started walking one way and he the other that I heard a gunshot go off, and I swung my head over and I saw a bird fall, and I saw another bird get up real quick, and Colton was on the trigger.
Good dogs! Good dog! Get it!
Yeah, he got two. Yeah. Colton's reached his limit.
And with a limit of 2, I was done. I mean, it just goes to show, I mean, we rode the struggle bus all morning long, and then literally within 100 yards of the truck, I'm done.
So cool. That's awesome.
Big black chests on them.
Beautiful birds. I heard your shot, but then I turned real quick and it was already on the ground.
Really?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You walked, what, 50 yards?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good shooting, dude.
Thanks.
Good work. So Colton was done. He had gotten his limit, which was awesome. So we decided to keep on pushing with me and Jones with a gun in my hand. And the whole time, Jones is acting birdie. You can tell that birds have been in the area. And we probably walked another mile, before I watched Jones go up on a rise. And I couldn't see him behind a sagebrush. All I could see was his tail, and I could see he was flagging a little bit, but he had stopped. Can't tell if he's on point or if he's just looking at us or what. And then all of a sudden his tail just went stark, and I walked forward about 2 steps and I looked up and I could just see his nose high and his tail and his body had he was absolutely 100% on point, and Colton and I just right then knew, like, that's a real point, we gotta get up there. Good job, Jones! Good job, buddy! Good job, buddy! Hell yeah, Jones!
That
was beautiful.
Jones! Look at this bird, Jones! You did that, bud! Wow! You see how steady he was standing?
Give me some of that. Yes!
I think I blacked out a little bit because I only saw 3 birds. The first bird in front of me got up and I whiffed and missed him. And another bird to my right got up and I was able to bring him down. And I was so focused on that bird that I had no idea what was going on, but I was told later that about 20 birds got up. And so I was just so pumped for my dog. Like I can't even tell you how excited I was. He was standing so tall.
He had him pegged there right underneath him.
Both you and I looked at him like, that's a real point.
Yep.
That's a real point.
Yep.
Wow.
Yes.
What a beautiful bird. My first sage grouse over my dog's first sage grouse point. Look how awesome that is. Look how big of a bird that is.
And that's a yearling bird.
Holy moly, really?
Yeah. The big boomers are double that size.
Wow. Hunting to me is such a passion to me. It's something that I truly enjoy, and sometimes life gets stressful, and that's what I do. I get away and I go hunting with my dog, and I've had 2 really big milestones recently with Jones where he's had his first point of new birds that he's never pointed before, and actually they're with Colton, which makes it even cooler. And that is just such a, it is such a milestone in a career, and I don't want to get emotional, but I mean, it really is. It's like something that you dream of with your bird dog, and I'll forever see that dog on point, and then those sage grouse just jump up, and I was able to bring one down, and my reaction was, Jones, you know, like, you freaking did it, dog. And so, just a cool memory that I'll never forget. An annual sage grouse camp in the Wyoming wilderness is the perfect backdrop to create memories for generations. From great-grandfather to grandson, the Howards have hunted these hills before they even had bird dogs. It's truly a family affair. And while the little ones may not be ready for shotguns, they're definitely on the hunt.
Hunting has unquestionably been a generational tradition in my family. It started, my dad hunted with his grandfather. I mean, I truthfully, I don't know exactly how far back it goes, but I mean, we're talking at least 4 or 5 different generations. And it's one of those things that now being a father of my own, I hope that I can carry on that tradition because it's something that it gives me purpose, it fosters incredible memories, and it's a very large part of who I am as a person. And I hope to be able to share that with kids of my own.
You know, I've been chasing birds for about 55 years. Actually started in this area with sage grouse, which was the only bird that my dad hunted because we didn't have dogs. And so we'd come out and try and find a group and get on them and hopefully get them.
Birds! Nice shot!
I doubled.
Good boys!
Get the bird, Brooks! Get the bird, Brooks!
My very first upland bird of my own was a sage grouse. My birthday is in the middle of September, which always coincides with the opener of the sage grouse hunt. And it was on my 10th birthday that I shot my first sage grouse. Not too terribly far from here. And it's one of those things that it was a tradition in the family long before I started hunting. And I mean, that was 24 years ago. And we've been here just about every September since. So something we look forward to every year.
Hey, give me a high five. Oh, give me a good one. All right.
Wild Upland is brought to you by Purina Pro Plan, nutrition that performs.
I'm hunting with generations of the Howard family in the Wyoming backcountry. This is prime habitat for sage grouse, but it's way off the beaten path. That's why I jumped at the chance to join the Howards at their annual sage grouse camp, to enjoy public lands they've hunted for generations. And for this hunt, with Colton's young son in tow, I got a chance to bring out my old lab Lincoln for his first chance at a sage grouse.
Right there! Good shot! What?
Oh, look, went to get Papa's bird.
Get him, Kali! Woo! Good boy, Link! Good boy, bud. You want to get down? Thank you. Good boy. Right there's one of them. Get it, Thor. Brooks, come!
Holy moly! You reached out and touched that
Last
bird.
one was out there.
Woo! That was cool.
Link's first sage grouse too.
Yeah.
See,
yeah.
another first today.
Another first. Your first one, bud.
Good deal.
They just kept popping. There's so much meaning behind these birds. I mean, truly, I truly feel that they are a trophy. It's a bird that I, may not get to hunt many times in my life. And, hunting can just change in an instant. And that is what makes it so awesome and what we're passionate about, because even though we were tired, as soon as we had a bird on the ground, everything changed. Everything changed. We wanted to hunt more. We wanted to be there. The dogs, you could tell that they were pumped about it. And that really brings it full circle. That's what we're here for. We're here to hunt behind our dogs. We're not here to reach a limit. We're here to just see a bird, And when we finally just had that first flush, that first cubby rise, that was amazing, and that really was, a culmination of an awesome day. And then to top it off with my young bird dog going on point, silhouetted and just looking like a mature setter that I could only dream of. And for me to be able to bring to bag my first sage grouse, and technically his first sage grouse, and do that all in one hunt, that was something that I will never forget, and I will be forever thankful to Colton for allowing me to come out here with his family tradition, and being as pumped for me and my dog as if it were his own dog. I can't even express how that makes me feel. And Jones, you did it, man.
Yeah, so pretty neat to be able to come up and set up a camp. A lot of people, think like, oh, you're, got a deer camp set up. It's like, no, we're up here hunting birds. It's kind of fun to treat bird camp, bird hunting like you would a deer hunt, set up a nice camp. And for me, I guess everybody kind of has a different view on it. Some people like to hunt alone. I don't. You know, for me to be able to share those experiences with other people is one of the reasons why I do this. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to be able to come back to camp. You know, we'll sit around, have a fire. We're actually gonna cook up a couple of those birds that we killed today and just reflect on the day. I mean, you know, I keep coming back to that point of Jones. I mean, that's something we'll talk about that for years. I mean, we really will. I know it because it was that special. And so just be able to come back and kind of relive the day is an added bonus to having a bird camp.
What do you think, Link? Would you like some
I
birds?
love when they freaking look at us like that, like they know what we're saying.
Like he goes to his bowl. Where's my bird?
Yeah.
Can I eat mine first and then you have yours? Yeah. To come back after this epic day that we had afield and to sit around a fire and cook up the sage grouse and sit there and just enjoy, you know, the fruits of our labor and reliving the day and talking about how awesome it was and the great dog work that we saw all day from the Flushers and Jones and the camaraderie we had. It really, really puts just a cherry on top of a fantastic day.